morning. It is Tuesday, September 23rd. We are in Finisterre. We're just waiting for our bus, A20 bus back to Santiago. It seems like everyone is taking this bus back because it's very busy. The A20 bus is the shortest bus ride. We're gonna be in Santiago at 10:40, so 2 hours and 20 minutes. Hi, it's future Claudia. Let me give you a bit of context to this next part of the video. So we were on the bus heading to Santiago from Fisterra, and Marenka and Dasha are sitting in the first row, and then behind it is me and Suzanne. The bus is full, and we do a few stops along the way to Santiago to pick up more passengers, and shortly after the bus leaves Fisterra, we start hearing this ding 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 sound, and we can't figure out what it is. We just assume it's, I don't know, whatever. And then there's this one part where the bus is going up the steep hill and it's like really struggling. I remember when I did the Camino Francés and I took the bus from Pamplona to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which is through the Pyrenees. The bus never struggled like that. So this bus is really struggling to get up the hill, and then we do a stop at the next town, and he stops along the road, and we think, okay, maybe he's picking up people, but there's no people there and nobody's getting off the bus. And then he gets on the phone. So Marenka says, I can see his dashboard and the check engine light has been red the whole time. So I hear him on the phone and he says he's having trouble with the bus. I can't really understand what he's saying the trouble is, and he's just gonna continue driving on. And I'm like, I tell the girls what he says, and we're like, oh God, because we're driving right along the coast, and it's a lot of up and down, and I'm thinking, is it like his brakes? What is it, right? So I'm a little bit nervous, and then like the people all like at the front, we sort of realize what's going on. So then we get to this town. I can't remember what town it was. I think maybe C or something. CEE, maybe it was that one. He pulls in and then he says, he parks the bus and he says, okay, everyone has to get out. This bus is out of service and we're gonna wait for another bus. We were thinking, oh God, we're gonna be here for like hours waiting for another bus, but actually it was only 15 minutes. Okay, so let's get on with the video. Our bus broke down and now we're waiting for another bus. I'm not sure of the town, but yeah, adventure continues. At 12:30, we lined up at Casa Manolo. It is known for its traditional Galician cuisine, which includes shellfish, octopus, and other regional dishes. It's very popular for its pilgrim's meal, and you get an entree, a main course, dessert, bread, and water for 14 euros. Highly recommend, but be sure to line up because there's always a lineup to get in. Here's Claudia from the future again. Let's talk about where we stayed in Santiago de Compostela. This is Pensión Paz de Agra, where we stayed in Santiago for one night before making our way to Porto. And it is very central, close to the cathedral, and right around the corner from the university. I do not recommend staying here, not just because it was close to the university and there's a bar around the corner that we believe is probably frequented by a lot of the university kids. So it was loud, I think, until 5 o'clock in the morning. So very noisy. But simply because I ended up getting bitten by bed bugs like I have never gotten bitten before. It was so when the girls booked this one of the girls booked this particular place to stay. And I was going to stay at the place I had stayed last time when I was there in 2023. At the time when I went to book it, I believe it wasn't available anymore because it was so last minute that I decided to go. So it wasn't available, and then I ended up booking a room for myself at Pensión de Agra to stay at least in the same place as the girls were staying. Then maybe a few weeks before we left to go on the Camino, Dasha canceled because she was going to fly back home the day we got to Santiago. So I canceled my reservation and I ended up staying in that room. But I did point out that a lot of the reviews had said that the place had bed bugs. And we kind of figured by the time we would get there that they would have taken care of the bed bugs and it wouldn't have been an issue because there are bed bugs on the Camino. It's well known. Pilgrims transfer them from one place to the other. So you're never guaranteed not to have bed bugs. And so we just assumed, okay, it's not going to be a big deal. Anyways, we got there. We checked the beds out. I couldn't find anything on the mattress. My mattress looked new. And then I decided to sleep in my silk sleeping bag or a silk liner. I decided to sleep in my silk liner because I have read that the silk protects you from the bed bugs. Short story, it does not protect you from the bed bugs because I was bitten all over the place. I had like my face, the back of my neck, my arm. You still can see like here, one of the scars. I had them here. My chest was covered, my legs, my back. I mean, the 2 times I got bitten on the Camino Frances didn't even add up to what I got bitten that one night. And I didn't feel them. And then in the morning when I got up, I went to the washroom and then we came back and I was like, getting my sleeping bag, like my sleep sack to like put everything away. And that's when I noticed the blood. I noticed the blood on the sleep sack. And then that's when I started to realize I had all these bed bugs. So long story short, we're going to talk about the bed bugs in a different video, but I would not recommend to stay at this place. wait for the Botafumeiro. On the way home, I had a 6-hour layover in Lisbon, so I had a TAP Premium Lounge Pass in the Schneggen area, and they had some bacalhau com natas, which was delicious, hard-boiled eggs, salad, pastéis de camarão, pastéis de bacalhau, croquetes. They had different fixings for salad. They had different desserts, fruit salad, of course, pastéis nata, and then some cakes, different cakes, and pasta, which you could add your toppings to. They also had vegetarian options. And then they had different kinds of cheeses and cold cuts, and bread and more pastéis, which were delicious. Highly recommend if you're going to spend more than a few hours at the Lisbon airport to get a pass.